Sorry.
Okay, will you call the roll?
Mayor Clark? Mayor Pro Tem Brinkman?
Here.
Councilmember Cernanik?
Present.
Councilmember Cole?
Here.
Councilmember Stallman?
Here.
Councilmember Taylor?
Present.
Councilmember Trujillo?
Here.
We rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, do we have any changes to the agenda?
I would like to add an item to general business. This relates to contacting the Mercer Group for us to develop objectives and goals for the city manager. So I'll explain more at that point.
Any objections? Okay, we'll add that to general business. The minutes from the November 1 meeting, do we have any changes to that?
I'm sorry. Mayor Pro Tem, do you want that under general business under the new council?
Yes, no, under the current one, because that relates to our actions, even though it will carry forward.
Okay.
So it'll go under 9. Okay, the November 1 minutes, do we have any changes?
I have a couple of corrections. Jim,
Okay.
did you have some for, on page 3, and we don't have line numbers, but down under unscheduled appearances, Mr. Brown, I'd like to insert after Mr. Brown, former member of the Planning Commission, comma, well, comma, all of that in commas, commented on the history of, and then probably, I didn't go back to check what he said, but I think he said downtown neighborhood plan rather than com plan, but whichever it is, maybe our city clerk could check that. Or maybe one of you remembers.
Any others?
Page 5, in the motion, the first motion on the page, in the third line, after R4 zone districts, insert be approved.
Okay.
Page 6, next to the last paragraph, third line from the bottom of that paragraph, menacing should be meaning. I think Microsoft Word automatically miscorrected something. And page 9, under my report, Councilmember Cole reported that during campaigning, and then insert, she estimated that she walked to 5,000 single-family residences, and so insert that. Otherwise, if I'd only walked, for example, to 7 residences, 6 complaints would be pretty significant. So I'm wanting to put the few negative, 6 negative things in context of the many people that I talked to.
Okay.
That's all. Thank you.
Bruce.
On Wendy, on page 6, second paragraph on the bottom, third line, it says read from his letter. It says contraction methodology. I think it's supposed to be construction methodology. Third line down in that second to the bottom paragraph.
I'm sorry, which part?
It says it's Jennifer Randall referenced a letter sent by Kent Bagley. Read from his letter, it says contraction methodology. I think it's supposed to be construction. That's all. I just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Any others? Okay. Then the minutes are approved as amended. And the minutes from 11:15. Oh, wait, no, it is 11:15. Okay, introduction of any new city employees.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I don't believe Daniel is here, but we have a new utility street worker, Daniel Ramirez. He's a native of Colorado. He has 3 children, loves hunting, fishing, and all sports. And to show that it is a small world, he used to work for the town of Frisco. And so he is here, and we're pleased that he's able to join us. And I think Charlie's happy already, and his coworkers. So please join me in thanking and welcoming him.
Yes, welcome, and just in time for winter. It appears we have no guest citizens, is that correct? Okay. We have no scheduled public appearances. This is unscheduled public appearances. If there's anyone in the audience who would like to address council, you're welcome to come down and do so at this time. You have a limit of 4 minutes. Seeing no one, we'll move to consent agenda items. And City Attorney, read that resolution, please.
This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Littleton, Colorado, authorizing the approval of an intergovernmental agreement with Denver Water for the conversion of the city center irrigation system to non-potable water.
I'd like to pull that, please.
Okay. It's pulled. Then the 7B. This is a motion to approve the annexation of property to Platte Canyon Water and Sanitation District. We have an agreement with them with a sewer service agreement, and this agreement is substantially the same with all 8 of our sanitation districts. The agreement provides Platte Canyon can enlarge its boundaries and service area by inclusion of properties. However, the City Council must first approve such a district service area expansion, and I believe the expansion is about 15 properties. Do you have a motion?
Madam President, I move that we approve consent agenda item 7B. Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve consent agenda 7B. Any discussion? Vote.
The vote is 6 in favor. The motion carries.
Okay, back to 7A.
Explain it before I make.
Yes, 7A is a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with Denver Water for the conversion of the Littleton Center irrigation system to non-potable. When we renewed or signed a new contract with Denver Water, part of that agreement was that they would fund the conversion of the Geneva Park from potable to non-potable, from potable to non-potable, and this is an agreement. We have to have a signed agreement between all parties on this. Charlie?
I'll just ask all my questions at once, and then you can answer them however order you want to do it.
Fire away.
Is the 4.33 inches, or about 1,100 cubic feet per second, enough, more than enough, not enough water to do the complex here? And if there is surplus water, would we have any that's be available to loan to Hudson Gardens for their utilization? And thirdly, are these water rights part of the Antero rights?
The answer to the last question is no. So 4.33 inches is water designated in the city ditch since 1970 when we sold the water system from Littleton to Denver. That contract in 1970 specified that we would keep 4.33 inches of water in the city ditch for our use for whatever purpose we intended to do. We haven't used one drop of it since 1970. So for 41 years, we have been paying on water that we haven't used. Now we will be using it, and that 4.33 inches of city ditch water will be used for irrigating the Littleton Center, Geneva Park area. Yes, it is enough water. If it's not, there is water rights available in the city ditch for us to buy and continue to use and fill the lake with that. We're going to take the water out of the city ditch and put it in Geneva Pond, pump it out of there, and then irrigate the 20 acres around this property. That way we don't pay Denver Water for treated water for the system.
Because Geneva Pond is only 4 or so feet deep, are you going to dredge it?
We will probably have to dredge it in within a 5-year period. We dredged it about 2 years after we moved into this facility. And we took out a lot of stuff. But we can't, yeah, it'll need to be dredged at some point in the future, not this coming year. Can we use excess water for Hudson? I wouldn't suggest doing that now because I think we're going to need all the 4 inches we have for this property and to fill the lake. Hudson, at the moment, in talking with them, they have plenty of water from the city ditch to fill their ponds. Their contract for city ditch water, though, is interruptible. Ours is not. That's the main difference.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, Bruce?
Charlie, I don't know, Section 10A of the intergovernmental agreement talks about Littleton and the board agree to seek the consent of Englewood to use the existing 433 inches. It sounds like what I think I heard you say was we can pull it out because it's ours, but this says we have to get their consent to do that.
Englewood actually manages the ditch on a day-by-day basis. As a result, in order to install the gate to move the water from the ditch to the pond, we have to go through their process to do it. That's all it takes.
You're not anticipating
No,
any?
not a problem at all.
Okay.
No, I have no concerns about that whatsoever.
Okay, any other questions, Jim?
I move we approve the resolution to adopt the resolution to approve the agreement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the resolution for the intergovernmental agreement with Denver Water. Everybody ready to vote?
You have too many votes.
Oh, gosh, I'm voting. I'm voting twice tonight.
No, now you're voting no. The vote is
Look at airplane.
6 in favor, the motion carries. There's too many buttons.
Okay. Okay, that takes us to general business. And Peggy, you had something you wanted to talk about?
Oops, it's to be added after the other item, or am I got the other item in the wrong batch?
General.
Yeah, I got the other 9 in the wrong
That's it.
agenda. When we had a search for the city manager, our contract with the search committee included them helping us formulate goals and objectives for the city manager. So it's already paid for. So I am requesting that we look into when their schedule can accommodate our schedule to meet with us to do that. Do we want a motion on that? Or just?
I don't think you need a motion, just to direct staff. I don't know. Mike?
Yeah, I think this is absolutely appropriate. What I'd ask is that we can certainly start, Marlene can start to put that schedule together and look at it. Part of it, I think, is tying in with what I'm going to be talking about with the next council under general business, the agenda discussion, and I think we want to, part of that, and I'll talk about it then, is dealing with the council goals and objectives, and there's a portion of that that ties in with that. So it's a question, ultimately, I think that you all will need to decide, when do we want to get them in here? Do we want to get them in on the basic, because I think there's 2 components. What are the basic expectations that you have of your city manager and the performance measures around that are internal to the organizational structure and management? And then there's how successful am I at implementing your goals and understanding what those goals are in order to tie in the measurements for that. And so having those goals from you all is an important piece of that. And so we're hoping to have that by December. So maybe we could get them in later in December or early January as a general time frame, if that's acceptable to you. And then we'll just have Wendy is looking at your calendar, tentative calendar, along with Marlene, set that up. Okay?
Okay.
And then you'll see it then on the pending calendar.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Okay. So we are now at reports. City Manager, any reports?
No, thank you.
City Attorney?
I do not.
Okay. Council members. Councilmember Cole? Do you have any reports?
We will discover this a little bit in the next part of our meeting, but as I was looking into how we're doing the election and so forth of the city, the mayor, also called the president of council, it strikes me that we need to update our procedures and rules. So I would like us to put that on a study session fairly early in 2012 while this is still on our minds, so that we won't be quite so confused in the future.
Okay, would that be, Michael, would that be something to discuss?
Yes, the councilwoman's getting a little ahead of me. She's stealing my thunder.
So we're going to move that down to number 20.
Yeah. So it is part of our council university portion, and we have it on the list.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anything else, Peggy?
If she keeps going, I'm just going to jump in and explain what we're doing. So,
Bill?
Just briefly, the South Suburban Park and Rec District Board is looking forward to a joint meeting on December 6th.
Jim?
I was part of the Transit Alliance annual meeting and awards program, had a speaker, Robert McNulty from, he's a founder of the Partners for Livable Communities out of Washington, D.C. There were several other presenters as well, but after the meeting we had an opportunity to do one-on-one with Mr. McNulty to discuss Dr. Cogg's Livability Communities principles and program. The second thing is the Veterans Day program last Friday at the museum was, I thought, well attended, although I've seen bigger crowds in the past than there were this time. I thought Mayor Clark's speech was really very appropriate. It was quite good and hit the spot. E470 authority has been in the news recently. The board changed the policy on unpaid fines and service charges when it goes to court, moving it from per incident event to per month, and bundled them up so that the costs are considerably less than what they had been in the past. And they also increased the tolls at the toll plazas by 10 cents every toll. So tolls going up a little bit on E470. That's it.
Okay. Jose?
Yes, I would like to just mention that Interfaith Community Services is approaching the holidays, and they are in great need of foodstuffs and donations and clothing. So if you've got anything out there, you just go through your closets and they'll take them. They are in dire straits. We've had a tremendous amount of people coming this year, a lot more than usual. So that's about it.
Thank you. Bruce?
Thank you. Very quickly, I attended the North Littleton Promise dinner on 5 November. Very well attended at Mission Hills Church. I think City Manager Penny was there. Former City Manager Woods was there. This is a group that is working across the community to support underprivileged kids in the North Littleton and the Promise Park area. This morning I attended the Jefferson County elected officials breakfast out at Red Rocks Community College, and essentially very brief remarks to those folks. It was a boatload of people from obviously Jefferson County, but there were also a number of state elected officials there as well. I mentioned that we actually have a fair amount of interactivity with Jeffco as a city. So, for example, the sewer and sanitation districts that use that reside out there, that use the Englewood Littleton wastewater treatment plant, as well as the contracting of the fire department to the Littleton Fire Protection District that covers a big chunk of southeastern Jefferson County. I also pointed out to them that the city limits of Littleton really don't extend too far other than trail mark into Jeffco, so that when Jefferson County citizens call us with, great enthusiasm about, for example, that wonderful new pedestrian bridge across Wadsworth, that in the spirit of intergovernmental cooperation, we're forced to pretty much send those calls to Jeffco.
Charlie.
But it's all about people helping people. So, but it was good. It was a good meeting. So, and I will defer the merchant plug of the week again this week in order to facilitate an orderly transition.
Thank you. Dr. Cog report.
The Dr. Cog Board of Directors meeting is tomorrow night. There will be quite a controversy over the Transportation Improvement Plan funding. The major committee that advises the board split on their recommendation to move forward on 9-8 vote, and then the second vote came in as a 7-9 defeat. So it's highly controversial whenever your major committee cannot come to an agreement. This morning, the Regional Transportation Committee, which is made up of CDOT commissioners, RTD directors, and Dr. Cog board members, we took it under advisement. We did not make any recommendation because it is highly controversial, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night. And I've got my Robert's rules in order to run the meeting tomorrow night.
Okay, is there anything else? Seeing no other business, we are adjourned.
Don't turn that off. Call on Michael.
So if the council is comfortable, we will have our outgoing council member Trujillo as our temporary chair.
I'd like to make that a formal motion.
You? Okay.
Just so I move that our recently term expired Jose Trujillo serve as the temporary chair.
Motion's made, second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. The chair at this time calls on Judge Anderson, who will administer the oath to the new council members. Thank you. So.
I state your name.
I, Bruce Beckman,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Charter and the ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Littleton,
of the City of Littleton,
and I will faithfully perform the duties
and I will faithfully perform the duties
of City Council member
of City Council member
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations. Valdez? I state your name.
Jerry Valdez,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Charter and the ordinances
and the Charter and the ordinances
of the City of Littleton,
of the City of Littleton,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of City Council member
member
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter. Great. Thank you.
And if I could have Councilmember Cole and Councilmember Brinkman. Come around.
No, you should do them separately.
Separate, very good.
They need their own shining moment.
Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Debbie Brinkman,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Charter and the ordinances
and the Charter and the ordinances
of the City of Littleton,
of the City of Littleton,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of City Council member
of City Council member
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations. I state your name.
I, Peggy Cole,
Do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Charter and the ordinances
and the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Littleton,
of the City of Littleton,
and will faithfully perform the duties
and will faithfully perform the duties
of City Council member
of City Council member
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations.
Michael?
Yes, thank you. The process by which the council elects its president and president pro tem is not identified within the legislative rules and procedures. So what we would propose is,
They need to be up here.
Yes.
yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are. You got some.
Yeah, you're new.
You are they now.
You're on the hot seat now, mister.
starts now.
Have a seat.
We're going to start the music in a moment there, Bruce.
Thank you. Here, have a seat. No, that's all right. No, fine. Don't worry. Please.
There you go, Bruce. But I can leave.
This is the process that Councilwoman Cole was referring to. So while we're getting seated, as I said, the legislative procedures and rules don't speak to how the nomination and vote would occur, only that it is the council's, at the council's discretion. Thank you, Judge. To elect and serve at the will of the council the president and president pro tem. So what staff would propose is that the chair accept nominations following the general procedure of Robert's Rules. No second would be required, accept all nominations that are interested in being made, and then close those nominations. And then the question for the council is kind of how it's been done in the past is the voting has been done in the order of the nominations, how they're received. However, if you're not comfortable with that, this approach, we have a hat that we can put the names in, and there it is. Look at that. A basket for it. And then the other comment that I have is that it is my understanding over the last 2 years the council has suspended the rule relative to secret ballot. We do have the ballots because that is what is in the legislative procedures, but if the council...
I'd like to make a motion
Yes.
at this point, if that's appropriate.
Yeah, and then if you could have a quick discussion about how you actually want to have the voting, and we are prepared for any direction you want to give us on that.
So I move that the council conduct a public ballot with ayes and nays recorded, and to suspend council's legislative rule 1 that requires a secret ballot for selecting the mayor and mayor pro tem, who are by charter called the president and president pro tem of council.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Questions?
Yes, I'm going to vote against this motion. This motion is violation of our legislative rules, and it is, I'm very bothered by whenever you violate the rules and you move to discard them whenever it's your pleasure. If you look at the scenario that could occur tonight with the selection of the mayor and the mayor pro tem, If there are two nominees made and the first one receives a majority of votes, why are you going to vote on the second? If the first nominee doesn't receive a majority of votes, then why are you having even a second vote? Because it's already predetermined. I think that the reason why you went with the secret ballot in the legislative rules was to avoid that very specific idea. It was done that way so that whenever you vote, you don't know who's voting for whom, and therefore there's not going to be any bad feelings because you didn't get a vote you thought you were going to get. I think it is, we need to be following the legislative rules that we've got, and I will not support the motion.
Questions, other questions?
So the motion, I've made a similar motion in 2007 and 2009, and the more complete motion that I made then points out that our legislative rules and procedures contradict a requirement in the city charter that all motions and ordinances be by public ballot, that they be public. That's in, I believe, section 37 of the charter. And when I cast my vote, I'm going to be casting a vote for someone, not against anyone. This particular council, to the best of my knowledge, has probably the most experienced people in terms of administrative experience and in terms of leadership and in their current council activities, their recent activities, or in their other duties in their career or otherwise. So I do not want to give the sense of any opposition, at least for me, in a vote. It's a very, very difficult thing to be doing when you have so many outstanding people on a council.
Kirsten, do you have the charter?
I do. Section 37 talks about voting, and it is not extremely clear, as with many provisions in our charter that we'd like to clarify. There's another section about the providing officer, section 24, and it does not specify. The specific rule is in the administrative provisions, the legislative rules, which you are entitled to suspend. So it's not a very clear picture in the charter, so I don't think it directly contradicts the charter. In other words, I think that you can do either. You can suspend the legislative rules and do it by public vote, or you can do it by a secret ballot.
Any other questions?
Can I speak again? Going back to the motion that Peggy made earlier about changing or remodeling, revising the legislative rules, it will get rid of this very problem that we've created. We've had that opportunity to have done that in the last 2 years. No one brought it forth to do. And so here we are with the same crisis we had 2 years ago, and we're dealing with it again without having the benefit of trying to fix the problem.
So I would make one more comment. Two of us did try to change the procedures in, I believe, 2008, and the council at that time rejected any changes to the existing rules, procedures, and rules. So I'm looking forward to this council saying we really do need to clean this up. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor in a second. Could you read the motion, please?
That the council conduct a public ballot with ayes and nays recorded, and to suspend Council Legislative Rule 1 that requires a secret ballot for selecting the mayor or president of the council and mayor pro tem of the council, president of the council.
Okay. All ready to vote?
Wait, are we
Why don't I just do a roll call, and you can say aye or...
So an aye is in favor of Peggy's motion.
Yes. Okay, Councilmember Beckman.
Aye.
Councilmember Brinkman.
Aye.
Councilmember Cernanik.
Aye.
Councilmember Cole.
Aye.
Councilmember Stallman.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
No.
Councilmember Valdez.
Aye.
Vote is 6-1.
The vote is 6 in favor, with Councilmember Taylor voting no. The motion carries.
Okay.
At least I'm consistent.
All right. Now, is it my turn to step down? Or do I?
Not quite yet, because you've got to facilitate the process of how the council wants to vote on the nominations, and once you decide that, if you would accept the nominations, and then the city clerk will handle it from there in terms of the voting.
How does council want
The way it's been done in the past is, again, the first nomination, and we just go in order of the votes for who's nominated.
All right.
If you're comfortable with that.
We are now going to make a nomination for the mayor.
I'd like to nominate Councilmember Brinkman.
I'll nominate Councilmember Cernanik.
Mr. Cernan, you're next.
I'm fine. That's fine. With that, I have no further nominations.
How many we have? What is the vote right now?
I have a question. I would like to hear from each of the candidates, which a little bit about their position as being mayor. They're making time available to me to be mayor and representing the city.
We need to close the nominations first.
We'll close nominations.
I would like to make a motion that we hear from each candidate. Just a very brief 60-second type thing.
I think the first order of business that Wendy was suggesting, and I'll make the motion, is that we close the nominations.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Close nominations.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion that we close the nominations.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now,
Sorry, the motion carries.
okay.
Either Debbie or Phil's got to speak.
Okay. Debbie? Phil?
Order of nominations? I don't know.
Okay. The question was about how I'll make time in my schedule for the demands of the job. Okay. Well, I guess I'm self-employed. I have my own business, so on many levels I can make my own schedule. Over the last 4 years, I've been able to serve as a council member, serve on a number of committees, serve a number of liaisons beyond the board and commission work that I do, and continue to build and grow my business, and been able to juggle that. I completely respect the position of mayor, but I also respect that it is a position of specifically leadership, guiding the meetings, running the meetings. I don't feel that the position of mayor is a full-time job, and I don't think it should be. There is a 7-member group of council that are the entities that share the responsibilities of council. So I believe that, and it's something certainly that you have to think about. You can't jump into being a council member and then the next step of, being a mayor and not have to do some searching as to can I make this happen. I'm an organizer, professional organizer, and pretty good at time management and keeping things organized and keeping the balls in the air. So I feel comfortable doing this, and I feel very passionate about doing this. And I guess that's my answer.
Thank you for the question, Jerry. I'm excited about serving with this council. We have an opportunity. There's changes in some of the city administration in moving forward to be able to address and influence positively the future of Littleton. I would feel honored to serve this council in 6 years of elected service to this community so far. It's been one of those things where I've gone extra. I've made presentations to the community. I've also involved in a number of statewide organizations as well, and both on a business and in a public sense have chaired boards, commissions, committees, projects to get things done. The position of the president of this council is to facilitate the council. And as Debbie has mentioned, it's a matter of leadership. In my day-to-day life, I've spent a lot of time working with independent contractors. And to some extent, we are each individuals elected with responsibility. As far as dealing with time, I have if I choose to retire, to allow for time. That is something that I am absolutely free to do. We share a practice together in how we work with her clients, and in that regard, I have a lot of freedom in doing what's needed to be done. And my efforts would be to exceed the expectations of the council.
We have 2 nominations. Is there any other nomination? Should we close them all? All right, it's up to you guys. Time to vote.
I'll call a vote. Councilmember Beckman?
Councilmember Cernanak?
Wait, I'm sorry, hold on just a second. Okay, we're voting in order of the nominations. So we're going to vote for Councilmember Brinkman first. Councilmember Beckman, just yes or no?
Nay.
Aye or nay? Councilmember Brinkman?
Yes.
Councilmember Cernanik?
Nay.
Councilmember Cole?
Aye.
Councilmember Stallman?
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor?
Nay.
Councilmember Valdez?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Congratulations, Mayor Brinkman. Now,
And- Yeah.
One more thing?
no.
No, you can, yep, you're done now. Thank you so much. And
Oh, I do that.
Mayor Brinkman, if you would lead us through the Mayor President Pro Tem.
Before that, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to move that we declare it unanimous by acclamation.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
7 in favor. The motion carries.
Okay, we'll open up nominations for President Pro Tem of the council.
Go ahead.
I would like to nominate Bruce Stallman.
Nominate Councilmember Cernanik.
Okay, do we have any more nominations? Okay, we'll close the floor for nominations. Do we have any questions, comments? Okay, are we ready to vote?
I want to ask the same question Jerry did a while ago.
Okay.
Tell us why you'd like to be pro tem.
We'll start with Stallman.
Well, the Office of Pro Tem, I think, is intended to support and fill in for the President of Council when that individual is not available, but also to share the load. And I think the opportunity to be available to support the President in terms of public engagements, public speeches, representing the council, representing the community is certainly an honor and a privilege. I serve as senior executive for my firm and have had multiple opportunities to not only support the firm in that regard when the President's not available, but also to coach and be available to bounce ideas off of as part of the process of helping in this case, the President of the Council grow in her duties and responsibilities as well.
Councilmember Cernanek?
Essentially, the time availability as far as the same question is out there in being able to address that. Does anyone need me to repeat that segment?
Verbatim.
And the other part is, again, I consider it an honor to serve this council.
Okay, any more comments?
Okay, Councilmember Stallman was nominated first. Aye or nay? Councilmember Beckman?
Nay.
Councilmember Brinkman?
Aye.
Councilmember Cernanek?
Aye.
Councilmember Cole?
Aye.
Councilmember Stallman?
Aye.
You got to vote for yourself.
Did you vote?
Aye.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Councilmember Taylor?
Nay.
Councilmember Valdez?
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries 5-2. Councilmember Beckman and Councilmember Taylor voting no.
Congratulations.
Can we do the same unanimous acclamation for the pro tem?
Your vote should be reflected as your vote was, so I'll let your manager decide since he allowed the first one to go.
I was going to make a comment, but he was too fast for me. So why don't we continue it, and we'll discuss it in the future as we reset the policies and procedures on this.
Okay, then seeing no other business, we are adjourned.
No. Business.
Oh, we do. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Michael.
The exciting
You've
part.
been waiting
Been
for
waiting all
this
night.
calendaring. Never mind, we're not adjourned. I tried, you guys.
You sound so disappointed. All right.
Did everybody bring their calendars?
So this is, let me briefly, if I may, explain what I'd like to do, and this is right in line with what Councilmember Cole has been hinting to. There are those policies and procedures. Let me back up. There are those operating agreements about how the council works together, how you choose to operate and communicate with each other, treat each other, et cetera. Then there are those policies and procedures about how you conduct your business that you have discretion over. And then ultimately the third layer of this procedure, this bureaucracy, if you'll allow me, are those items which you do not have authority over. And how to enter into an executive session might be an example of that. It's something that's under state law or constitutional limitation by which dictates how you do your business. So there is that, and then once we start to coalesce the council, I would like to work with you guys to look at your 2012-2013 goals and objectives. This body that you see before you or next to you, as the case may be, will be together for the next 2 years, for better or for worse, and through sickness and health, et cetera, et cetera. And so determining what those 2-year goals are, what those objectives are, I think is very important as we kick this off for the new year in here. And then the last component I alluded to was this legal realm even beyond just how you conduct your business, but dealing with liability issues, ex parte communication, et cetera. So our Director of Communications is not here, but being the creative mind that she is, we now have the Council University put together, and we are developing a syllabus for all of you, and we would like to schedule that university over a 4-day period. It's not 8-hour days, so don't worry, but on 11/22 from 5 to 7, if that is available for folks. And Councilman Stallman, I think you're driving the furthest, so let us know if these dates don't work or times don't work. On 11/29, which is the 5th Tuesday of November, but if you would indulge us with your time from 5:30 to 7 p.m. We did let you off last Tuesday, 5 of you.
We do have a tour of CenturyLink from 5:30 to 7:30, so maybe we could make it,
It's 3:30 to 5:30.
3:30 to 5:30. Could we
Yep.
make it 5:45 to give us a couple of minutes?
We can. Yep. I know that Kelly was cognizant of that, so, but yes.
City
I think
Manager, since there may not be a council meeting being the 5th Tuesday, we
Correct.
could extend the time.
Yes.
What would be needed.
Yep. Yeah, and I think the way that the schedule would work out is that start time of CenturyLink, and then we would just show this as the next agenda item. On December 6th from 5 to 6:30. And then the last one would be on December 13th from 3 to 6 p.m. And then let me just quickly outline what would occur at each one of those meetings so you can be thinking about it. And we will be, again, giving you a syllabus with goals and outcomes that we would like to see during that. And keep in mind, this is all, except for the last meeting, which I'll get to, this is all about you. So we're proposing the process. We will give you some examples. We will make some suggestions about the different areas to start the conversation, but this is about the council. So on the 22nd, the focus of that meeting would be the operating agreements. Again, how are you guys going to work with each other? You agree to support each other, et cetera, and the general protocols by which you have authority over. So the one that Councilmember Cole brought up this evening would be one of those. And the staff is currently in process of working on that. On the 29th and
Michael?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Do we have anything on the agenda for that evening, the study session?
On which night? On the 22nd?
Mm-hmm.
22nd's a regular meeting.
That is the study session. I mean, I don't
Okay.
think we have anything. like that.
If that's the study session, would it
You want to have it
be,
at 7?
yeah, just do a 7 to 9? Would that, for,
I'd shoot for 3 to 5, but that's my work day, so that works.
yeah.
But no, 7 to 9
Would-
for you, so.
Yeah, on the 22nd? Would that work better?
Either way works.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably. Have that.
On the 29th, you're talking about.
22nd. Because that's normally a study session evening, and we don't have anything on that agenda, so we would just, that would
Let us
then
check
be
our-
the agenda.
On one calendar, you had South Platte planning.
The master plan.
The reason why we did that.
I believe that was on December 6th.
I'm sorry.
While you're looking at the calendar, is it possible to change the start time on the 13th of December to 3:40?
Yes.
The reason why we have on the 13th is because at 6, you guys are having dinner with
With our state representatives. But yes, we can, 3:40 is fine.
On the 13th?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, I don't have a great calendar. Sorry, I was not here.
Yep. So while she's checking the calendar to see what's on the 22nd, so the 22nd is operating agreements and those protocols. On the 29th, we would either conclude the conversation on goals, operating agreements and protocols, and then or if you've completed that, we would go right into goals and objectives, 2 years goals and objectives, and then carry that over, assuming we need the additional time, carry that over to the 6th. The goal of December 6th would be to wrap up your operating agreements, your protocols, and your goals and objectives for the next 2 years. And then on the 13th, and the reason that I was quickly agreeing to shorten that time frame is that is the legal evening where we will have Tammy Tenoy and our esteemed attorney talking about all the legal aspects by which you need to operate within.
Okay, I got it now. November 22nd at 5:30, the concept plan for South Platte River enhancement is scheduled. These were the reasons why, the reasons behind the times that we chose. The November 29th is the CenturyLink tour at 3:30. And December 6th, I'm not sure about that one. We've got a regular meeting afterwards, so that's why we did it earlier. And the December 13th, we are doing discussion on the 2012 capital construction plan, streets, storm drainage, traffic lights, concrete work, sanitary bridge, sanitary sewer, and bridge repair.
And again, we've got our guests coming at 6 for dinner.
So that's why we did that earlier.
So we want to move the 11:22 back to 5 to 7?
No. You should stay at 7. We got the 5:30 meeting with South Platte River.
Oh, yeah. So why did you schedule it 5 to?
Can't speak to that, but let's go 7 to 9, and when we get the final schedule, we'll essentially go right in from that meeting, and we can move into your work session.
Okay. And that's a study session with, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And then just to conclude, and again, we'll go through this when we first meet, the goal would be then to take those goals and objectives from the outcome on the final ones on December 6th, and then staff would work on that between December 6th and when we have the workshop on those action items that we would propose, either that were already included in the budget and directed by the council, or any other additional action that we would propose relative to your goals and objectives over the next 2 years. And then we would discuss all of that detail at the workshop. So that's the conceptual kind of framework, if I made any, hopefully I communicated it fairly clearly. But we'll get in more detail on the first meeting on the 22nd now at 7 p.m.
And you'll send us a memo about all of that.
Yes. Yes. That wasn't crystal clear there, Councilman?
Absolutely. Have you, have we set a date for the workshop?
I believe it's currently in February. I don't know the date off the top of my head. I'd actually, when we get into this process, I'd like to propose that we do that. We move it to January so we have as much time to really implement. No? Well, except for Councilman Cernanek is going to be overseas. So we will work around his schedule, obviously.
So, given the difficulty of scheduling things that we all can attend, is there no way we could schedule the workshop now?
It's already scheduled. I was just informed. Thank you, Kathy. February 10th.
Man, ask and you shall get, right? Jeez.
I don't know.
So, say again?
February 10th.
That's the weekend, Super Bowl weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
On a Friday.
Did you want to talk about that? You said you were going to talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
Or no?
Was it a Friday?
Went away? Okay.
10th is a Friday. 10th is a Friday. 11th is Saturday. Super Bowl Sunday.
They're planning it around the Super Bowl.
You betcha.
As long as we're done by Sunday.
All right.
And have we set a location?
We have, I believe that the February 10th is at the museum.
Is there any way to twist arms to have it where it can be televised?
I'm not prepared to speak myself on that this evening. Let's talk about the process when we hit the 22nd,
Okay.
if we could, for that, just in terms of just logistics and how we set it up. So everyone's good for the 22nd, 29th, 6th, and 13th. I'll just real quickly run through. So the 22nd, 7 to 9, 29th, 5:45 to 7, December 6th, 5 to 6:30, December 13th, 3:45 to 6. I gave you 5 minutes there, Councilman Cernanek.
And these are all public meetings, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, do you have anything else? Oh,
I
Phil.
was just going to, while we're doing calendaring, the Chamber's Economic Forecast Breakfast is on the 15th. So if folks could note that on their calendars as well.
Okay.
We have a city council breakfast that morning.
Anything else?
That is all, Mayor. Thank you.
I would just remind council that Thursday of this week, I believe, we are meeting with the high school students, and that is a breakfast at the Service Center with leaders from the high schools. Starts at 7:30.
And we have 80 RSVPs.
80 RSVPs. And do they have their questions ready?
We do.
Okay,
we have
good.
an agenda.
Okay. It says here to adjourn, and then we all smile and congratulate each other and go home. Is that right, Michael?
That's right.
Okay. Meeting's adjourned.